What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes news for August 10th, 2022. So, we of course have the skill card for Azrael today. He's looking kinda good, mainly because of one specific feature this hero has, and it's a similar feature that Carrie has. Yes, a revive system, and it doesn't seem like it's a contingent revive system as like Ankirimaru has, which is just a bad one. And it's not a limited one like a Sleepless or a Michelle, it doesn't seem like. So this hero could be very strong. If his regular form has a revive, does that mean this is going to be the first Transcendence hero that revives as well next month? That could be interesting. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe one. Let's jump right into it. Okay, so let's take a look at this. We've already seen what he looks like. We already know all about that. We know about his backstory last week, but let's take a look at his abilities. First off, being his active skill immediately jumps out as something very interesting. So, Death Verdict active skill deals damage to self. Interesting. Meanwhile, inflicts soul castigation. That's an interesting word. On enemy with the lowest HP. Okay, afterwards deals damage to enemies with the lowest HP and grants self Sin of Death. So I think if somehow two people have like the exact same health, I think it will hit both of them, but the chances of that are very, very, very small. And then he also gives himself Sin of Death. So what do these two things do? Let's go all the way to the bottom and read it right now. Sin of Death is a skill effect. Azrael's passive skill, Evil Corpse, which is the very last one here, that's one of the most important, is enhanced by Sin of Death. Okay, so as long as he uses his active first, his passive is going to be stronger. Well, what is this? Soul Castigation skill effect as well. Deals the same amount of damage dealt by Azrael's active skill to himself to the target. This effect will not land a crit, and his damage is fixed, which cannot be reduced or increased by attribute, skills, or effects. So this one cannot be affected by like, all damage reduction, any of that stuff. It's pretty much going to be the same, or probably treated the same as Amun-Ra's curse skill, where it's like nothing is affected by it. It can kill through unbending will, all those fun, awesome things. So what's his first passive? Well, increased HP, attack, crit, control immunity, and speed. Normally, I would say this is immediately a thumbs down because it doesn't have damage reduction, but being that this hero doesn't mind dying, you kind of treat his skills and everything different. The attack and crit kind of seem nice, control immunity seems nice, and speed is definitely a good one. Move on down to Soul Imprisonment, another passive skill. You'll notice, like, yeah, he's going to be pretty interesting. Changes the basic attack to deals damage to enemy or enemies with the lowest HP and reduces their block for a certain number of rounds. Again, we're not really caring about the basic attack, I don't think. It doesn't do that much except counter block type teams. His main bread and butter here is going to be this big paragraph right here. Evil Corpse, the passive skill. When self dies, deals damage to enemy with the lowest HP. If self has Sin of Death, additionally deals a certain percentage of the same amount of damage to the same target, it seems like, the one with the lowest HP. Afterwards, self transforms into the Holy Corpse. That's very interesting, but which will revive Azrael in rounds. So it doesn't say how many rounds it takes. I imagine it'll probably be like 4-ish by Carrie, like by Carrie standards. And then during the existence of that Holy Corpse, so when he's in his ghost type form, like what Carrie has, at the end of each round, deals damage to enemies with the lowest HP and reduces their effect of being healed for a certain number of rounds. Meanwhile, every one enemy killed reduces the countdown of Azrael's revival by 1 round. That again is like straight from Carrie's skill card 2. If Holy Corpse kills an enemy, Azrael will revive by a certain percentage of HP and energy at the beginning of the next round. So it's not immediate, but that's interesting. That's very, very interesting. So I guess it's like a bonus if he does manage to actually kill somebody while in that Holy Corpse form, he'll revive even sooner. So it could be like immediately, and then the next round he'll revive, just like kind of Carrie revives at the end of the round. So it's very, very interesting. Very interesting. They also say here that the hero's main features deals damage to self, and when self dies, deals damage to enemies with the lowest HP. honestly, the hero feature is he revives. Reviving is very, 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 very special. They're honestly trying to tell you to use antlers, cannon, melodic strings. Again, very offensive artifacts. I'm kind of cool with that because the way he's built. Now his tenants, this one is a little tricky because they're just a list of them. So I'm wondering if these are the slots. So technically it's saying slot 1 is Star Alchemist, Holmes Young, and Tix. Slot 2 is Tusi-Lago and Ankurimaru. Slot 3 is Saya and Annabelle. And slot 4 is Mockman. Not Transcendence, just regular it seems like. So interesting. We also have a little bit more information about the notes and everything like that. So this one, the translations are very, very different, like very different between these two down here that you see, these guys, and what they were saying over here. So one of them is called Conviction of the Dead. So I guess that's Sin of the Dead, and the other one is Soul Punishment. Punishment kind of makes more sense, honestly, but that's fine and dandy, y'all. The one thing we do want to talk about, though, with Azrael is this part. When using active skills to trigger death, it can cause additional self-damage. You can adjust the position to make the self-destruction play a better role due to the feature of his resurrection. The explosion damage can be used multiple times in a battle. So that, again, weird translation because it's always just, it's always just some randomness from Google translating the WeChat pages. But that does make it sound like he can revive multiple times just like Carrie can, which means it's very, very strong. After death, he will transform into a spirit skeleton, which can make up for a certain amount of vacancy. So I wonder if he is obviously going to hold a spot, just like Ankurimaru, Carrie, all that stuff like that. In addition, the spirit skeleton will cause healing interference on the enemy heroes and reduce the enemy's healing recovery effect. So we kind of do that as well. Pretty straightforward. We actually do have an image of this right here. Let me actually save this image real quick. And we'll throw this up on the screen here because this will actually show us a better look. There we go. Yeah, so we do have it here. It's actually Tix and Ithaca, unless this is wrong, and this could be wrong because this is completely different than the information we had before. Eloise, Natasha, Ankurimaru, Saya, Annabelle, Tusi-Lago. This looks more accurate than the ones we had listed before. But, like, in the text version, it says Mockman is a tenant, and I don't see Mockman, so I don't know. So let me know what you guys think. Hopefully this hero is going to be a fun one to play around with. Again, we'll try to stream him live here on YouTube. But yeah, sounds interesting, mainly because, well, revive. So we'll see how he actually turns out. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you guys next time.